This is the Horse Radio Network. This is episode 265 of Horse Tip Daily, a different horse tip, a different equine topic, a different equestrian expert every day. Horse Tip Daily brings the world of equine knowledge to you one day at a time. Today's tip is sponsored by FeedXL. You can visit them at feedxl.com. Enjoy today's tip. Hi, Glenn the Geek back with you from Lexington, Kentucky, and welcome back to Horse Tip Daily. Well, today we have my wife back with us. Her name is Jennifer. She did a week of tips here recently, and now that she's working full-time with the Horse Radio Network as the producer, I can put her to work more. See, I can get her to do more tips and get her to do more work around the Horse Radio Network on air. And on air is, I have to admit, not her favorite thing to do. She really does like working behind the scenes, but she does it very well. We just have to convince her of that. So anyway, she is here. She provides some ever so practical tips and, of course, has been in the horse world for many, many years. That's how I got into it. I married it. She has been riding since she was 2 and was a graduate HA Pony Clubber and all of that. Trained, taught, rode eventing, rode fox hunting, managed many barns, all of that stuff. So we'll have her on here. But, you know, one of the things that we talk about all the time about our horses is how we feed them and what should we feed, and are we feeding too much? Are we feeding too little? Or are we feeding too much grain? Are we feeding too much hay? Are we feeding them too many supplements? Does it seem like our whole budget goes to supplements? Well, one of the ways you can figure out what your horse needs and whether you're feeding them too much or too little is through FeedXL. It's like having your own personal equine nutritionist. And FeedXL is so good that it's used by leading equine nutritionists around the world to formulate balanced diets for their clients. You just hop on over to feedxl.com. You put in some simple information about your horse, about his breed, about his weight, about what he eats currently, and a little bit about your situation. And they have all these different feeds already programmed in there. And it spits out these charts and graphs that show you whether your horse's nutritional requirements are being met. And they'll tell you if he has excesses or deficiencies in his diet. And you can learn all about that, and you can learn so much more. They have a great website over at feedxl.com. Stop on over and see if your horse is getting what he needs. And now my wife, Jennifer. Well, hi, Jennifer, and welcome back to Horse Tip Daily.
Hi-ho!
It's good to have you back again. Your week with us. We did a special week of tips just with my wife, and it was very popular. I heard from a couple of people about it. So we're having you back occasionally to do your ever so practical tips. If there's one thing that my wife is, it's ever so practical.
That's me.
So what are we talking about today?
Today is laundry tips.
Laundry tips.
Yes, I'm kind of a clean nut when it comes to the barn. And laundry tips today. Laundry detergent specifically. Laundry detergent is your friend at the barn. A lot of folks might not realize this, but liquid laundry detergent, my personal favorite being Whisk, is also a great product to use to scrub feed buckets.
Oh, wow, I didn't know that.
Didn't know that. For some reason, and I don't know the scientific the behind parts of it, it seems to dissolve snot and slimy grain and gunk that gets onto feed tubs better than anything else I've ever tried.
Huh.
Don't ask me why.
Wow.
But I love it for cleaning feed buckets, and if you have horses, if you have solid doors on your stalls and they sneeze and snot all over the insides of their doors and they get garbage all over them, it works just as well to use a scrub brush and your laundry detergent solution on the insides of your barn doors.
You could be the Heloise of the horse world.
Ooh. I wonder if that's taken.
I don't know. So, and didn't I also hear that Whisk is also good for washing your horses, that it's popular in the thoroughbred world?
Well, that trick, from my point of view at least, and I'm sure lots of other people discovered it, I learned that trick a long time ago at a barn I worked at. We used Whisk detergent straight up on the legs of the horses that had issues with getting scratches really easily, or dew poisoning, or if they had allergic reactions to thistles. Because especially if you fox hunt or ride in open country that's really undeveloped completely, there's some horses that just, the tiniest little nick in their skin, things puff up. And we just found, take your good old handy scrub brush, pour it right on top of the scrub brush, and go to town, suds it up really good, rinse twice, dry thoroughly, and it really reduced the skin and leg issues that we had with that subset of horses that was really sensitive. And it takes about 2 tablespoons in a 5-gallon bucket of water to give a horse a good bath, especially those ones that, they come in the springtime and they haven't been touched all winter and is like, ooh, B.O. Can be pretty darn effective.
And we gave our horse a bath with it today. And it worked very well.
It worked very well. He wasn't happy, but,
I think we have the only quarter horse in the world that doesn't like baths.
Well, he's warming up to it.
Yeah, it's getting a little better than when we first got him, that's for sure. But
he's warming up to it.
We were like, oh my gosh, he doesn't like baths. What horse doesn't like baths?
Well, the water is cold.
Well, I know, but it's hot out there today.
Yeah, it is really hot.
And he finally stopped fidgeting and put up with it. And then I think he wouldn't admit it, but I think he thought that felt pretty good after a while.
I would agree with you. I think once he finally got over the shock of it, he went, oh, this feels nice, but I ain't going to tell the humans that.
No, I don't think that he wants the humans to know. I think he wants to be water phobic forever. Now, we did not attempt his face. We thought that would have been pushing the issue a little too much today.
Yeah, that'll be a separate lesson. And then finally on the laundry tips list, the laundry list of laundry tips, this one I learned from my good buddy Rochelle from up in Massachusetts.
Hi, Rochelle.
Shout out. With things like baby pads, splint boots, girth covers, stuff that gets used almost daily and gets very dirty, not because it gets covered with muck and mire and manure, but because it gets sweated on. If you rinse it about every other day, either using the old-fashioned rapid washer method or in a washing machine with no soap, and then only launder it with soap about once a week, you will probably find that your textiles last longer.
So you rinse it.
Just rinse it frequently because it's that salt in there and the sweat residue that causes the issues more than the dirt. Because your horse is pretty darn clean most of the time unless you have one that lives out 24/7. Then it's a completely different story. But it's not so much dirt that is your enemy with those types of pieces of equipment. It's the salt and sweat residue that causes you mischief. And a really thorough rinsing either in your barn washing machine or in your big old tub with your Layman's rapid washer is really quite effective, especially if you can then take it out and hang it in the sunshine to dry.
And, Rochelle should know she's been a groom to some of the top drivers in the country.
She knows her laundry.
She knows how to take care of multiple horses because drivers usually aren't just driving one.
No, there's a lot of tack.
Yeah, a lot of tack. Each and every day they go out to drive. So, well, great. Well, there's some good practical tips on cleanliness in the barn.
And do you know where to get a Layman's rapid washer?
No, I don't.
You need to get a Layman's rapid washer at Laymans.com.
Laymans.com. Lehmans?
.com.
And that's a rapid washer. So what exactly is a rapid washer?
It looks a little bit like a toilet plunger, but it's this cone-shaped thing on the end of a stick that's designed specifically to agitate the water when you do laundry by hand.
Huh.
So it's elbow grease. It's not electronic or anything like that. You do it by hand. But I've always just kind of stuck my hand in there and sloshed it around. This is a little bit more effective and really gets that stuff slooshed around effectively.
And what should you use it for? Blankets and saddle pads and stuff?
Anything that you can fit in a washing tub, really. I probably wouldn't want to do a blanket in it. Maybe saddle pads, but not blankets just because they're really heavy. But it's awesome for polo wraps and leg wraps and splint boots and girths made of neoprene and all those little bits and pieces that get grody but you don't necessarily want to put in your washing machine.
All right. Great. So the tip of the day is keep it all clean and whisk. We're going to have a run on whisk now across the country.
We look forward to your email.
And then Laymans.com for the rapid washer. And a lot of, you just made me go to Layman's now. And I'm looking, they have all this, it's like an old-fashioned country store.
Kind of cool, huh?
And they have nice all this old country stuff. It's really cool.
Yeah, they're nice folks there. I've talked to them on the phone to get rapid washers ordered. And they're very pleasant folks over there.
I like some of this stuff, and it reminds me of home because apparently it's out of Ohio, and they have a big Amish community, and I of course came from Lancaster County, Pennsylvania, home of the Amish. So
there you go.
It looks like home. Well, thank you very much, Jennifer. We'll look forward to having you back again.
Ta.
Well, thank you to my wife, Jennifer, for joining us again. I appreciate all of her help over here on Horse Tip Daily and everything she does for the Horse Radio Network behind the scenes as well. Don't forget you can check out all the great shows on the network at horseradionetwork.com. I'll be back again tomorrow with another new expert and a different horse tip. Until then, stay safe, everyone.